All right. So, you know how people are always saying to like give in your all, 110%? Like you hear it everywhere.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like a total cliche at this point.
Totally.
But what if
we
actually thought about it for a sec?
Yeah.
Like, what if giving your best really is the key? So that's actually what today's deep dive is going to be about.
Yeah.
It's all about this idea of excellence, like going above and beyond.
I like it.
And get this, we're getting into it from a kind of surprising angle.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Lay it on me.
Okay, so we're looking at a sermon.
A sermon.
Yeah, called Giving the Lord Your Best.
Okay.
It's based on this passage from Colossians chapter 3, verses 23 and 24.
Right.
And I know you might be thinking like, wait, a sermon?
Yeah, haha. Not exactly my usual jam.
Yeah, but trust me on this one, even if you're not like super religious, this sermon, it's got all these like really insightful points about how to find fulfillment in your work.
Interesting. So how does it tie in with excellence?
Well, it basically says you got to approach everything you do with the same level of like dedication and enthusiasm as if you were like working directly for someone you like totally admire.
Right, like you want to impress them.
Exactly.
Okay, I can kind of see that like we've all had those bosses.
Yeah, totally.
Where you're like, I got to bring my A game.
Totally, right.
But it sounds like this sermon takes it even further.
Oh, yeah, it does for sure.
How so?
So it's not just about like looking busy or whatever. It's not about appearances.
Right.
It's really about like your inner motivation.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like the text actually emphasizes the word heart.
Okay.
Like it's about the why behind what you're doing.
It's about having your heart in it.
Yes.
Exactly.
I like that.
And I think that resonates with our listeners.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, our listeners are all about like finding work that's actually meaningful.
Yeah. They don't just want to be going through the motion. Exactly. So how does this sermon suggest we like tap into that deeper motivation?
Well, there's this really interesting part where it talks about getting an inheritance as a reward.
Okay, an inheritance.
Yeah, for giving your best.
So I'm thinking like, what does that even mean?
Right, it's not like a financial windfall or like a promotion or something.
Yeah, so what's the deal?
Well, it's actually a really beautiful idea.
Okay.
The inheritance they're talking about, it's like this lasting sense of purpose and like a deep inner peace.
Okay.
It's that feeling you get when you know you're part of something bigger than yourself.
Yeah.
That your efforts are actually building something meaningful.
I see. So it's like aligning your daily actions with a bigger purpose.
Exactly.
And it doesn't even have to be like a religious purpose.
It's not at all. It applies to everyone.
So it's really about like figuring out what you're working towards.
Yes.
Like what gives your daily actions that sense of meaning?
What's your own personal inheritance, so to speak?
Okay, I love that. And the cool thing is...
What's that?
This sermon, it doesn't just leave us with these like big philosophical questions.
Right.
It gives us some actual practical steps we can take.
Oh, nice.
So like it encourages us to really examine our motivations.
Okay.
Set high standards for ourselves. And this one's interesting.
Yeah.
Act as if we're accountable to a higher power.
To a higher power.
Yeah, and that doesn't have to be like a god or anything.
Right. It can be whatever motivates you.
Exactly. Like it could be your future self, your community, a cause you believe in.
Or even just like your personal code of ethics.
Totally.
It's a really cool way to look at it.
Yeah. It's like taking those classic productivity tips and giving them a more like soulful spin.
I love that it's not about just checking things off a list.
Right.
It's about finding that deeper why behind everything you do.
Yeah. Aligning your actions with your values.
Exactly.
So basically giving your best, it's not about being perfect.
Nope.
It's not about pushing yourself till you burn out. It's about showing up with intention, heart, and purpose.
And when you do that,
that's
how you earn that inheritance.
That feeling of fulfillment.
Exactly. Knowing you put your all into everything.
So here's something to think about.
Okay.
What would change in your life if you approached every single task with that level of dedication and heart?
Wow.
What would your inheritance look like?
That's a great question.
I bet you'd be surprised by what you could achieve.
For sure.
And how good it would feel along the way.
Absolutely.
So
that's it for today's deep dive.
Thanks for listening, everyone. All right. So you know how people are always saying to like give in your all, 110%? Like you hear it everywhere.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
It's like a total cliche at this point.
Totally.
But what if
we
actually thought about it for a sec?
Yeah.
Like what if giving your best really is the key? So that's actually what today's